Alright, so welcome back everybody to Kev's Weekly Pool. This is part 9. As normally, I begin to rant. So let's talk about the comic book stores. Where to go, your first comic book store. I'll let you know on the comic book stores I went to. The first comic book store I've ever walked into was Uncanny Comics, and you'll know from the previous Kev's Weekly Pool that I explained just a little bit on that. I walked into that store and it was just amazing inside. It was, eye candy. Then after that, I did a little Barnes and Noble. But Barnes and Noble is just strictly books for everybody. They had their own little section, so you can't really count that as a comic book store, but they do have comic books in there. So if you can't find a comic book store, check out Barnes and Noble. The third comic book store that I've ever stepped foot in is Comics Collection, which the store that I go and do my Kev's Weekly Pool, and where I get starting up my collection of toys from Icon, which is on 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, PA. Definitely go check out Comic Collections. The fourth comic book store that I've been to is on Castor and Aramingo. I don't know why I don't remember the store name, but it's not even. It's on Tioga and Aramingo. It's on Tioga and Aramingo. So he has a little Hulk store, floaty thing outside his comic book store, and it's just like Comic Collection. So you won't really be lost if you were to walk in there. So let's see, my fifth comic book store. Me and my family went on vacation about 2 years back to South Carolina. I can't remember the name of that comic book store, but it was nice, friendly, welcoming, and all that jazz. Sixth comic book store I walked into is on Lancaster, and let's just say a little bit more further out near Villanova College or Villanova University. That comic book store. Then who else was it? A comic book store owned by a lovely lady who I got to meet. Her name is Amanda. She is on Huntington Ave, North Philly. So not that far from Tioga and Aramingo from the other comic book store. Now, and I also went to one that's a little bit out in Springfield. A comic book store. It was a nice comic book store. I don't have their names in front of me, or else I definitely have a good description. But pretty much, let me know the comic book stores you guys been to. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is because different comic book stores, you have different experiences. So, obviously, Comic Collection, it's a friend. All comic book stores are friendly, family friendly. But this feels like home. I walk in there, I feel comfortable. I can go in there in pajama pants, and you're like, oh, hey, welcome back, Kev. You planning on sleeping on the floor in the back somewhere? Yeah, man, just pull up a pillow and a blanket, fun laughs. There are certain comic book stores that you go into and you feel like it's family. There's some comic book stores you go into and it don't feel right. It's not the right vibe. Now, that's not to say don't go and check out a comic book store, but I'm just letting you know how I felt. Uncanny Comics, when I went in there, it was nice. I went in there frequently and I was buying comic books, so they were cool with it. But then once work became a little bit less dependable, or should I say more of me being able to get to the store, I felt as though they it was like, listen, you pre-order these comic books, you're not coming in, you're not buying them, I'm trying to sell it to everybody else. I just felt as though there is a way to tell your customer that, you know, we have we have people who are probably looking for this comic book, and because it's in your box, not being sold, and you're not coming in and getting it, is it okay if we can sell it? Is it all right? But the way that the store manager went all about it, I just didn't like it. Now, that's not to say that I'm not gonna go to Uncanny Comics. It's just to say that he could have handled it a little bit more better. I felt like he was just ignorant, and it has nothing to do with race, because he was a black man, and so it had nothing to do with race. I just felt as though there was a more better way of saying, listen, we gotta sell our comic books. You're not coming in and getting them. Is it okay if we sell it to somebody else? The way he went all about it was like, look, man, you gotta come in, you gotta buy your comic books, man. We holding up. You got too much comic books in your storage, and you're not coming in here, you're not picking them up, you're not buying them. Like, what you doing? Probably the last part, what you doing? He didn't say that, but pretty much that's the gist. And you got to come to an understanding that if you are going to subscribe to a comic book store, you got to understand there's other people who probably are subscribed to that store as well. So when you have piles and piles of comic books stacking up that you're not coming in and getting, it's like they're missing out on the chance and opportunity to sell these comic books to other people. The whole time somebody's coming in, oh, I'm looking for this particular comic book. You got it. And they're like, I have it, but it belongs to somebody else. You just haven't come in and gotten it. And once weeks go by, it's kind of like, man, I missed out on the chance and opportunity to sell it to somebody else, and maybe that person's not coming back. So, but I just feel as though it's understandable, but I just feel as though there's a more better way to handle that situation. Now, Comic Collections is a perfect example. Unfortunately, I let him know how my schedule worked during the time. I'm like, listen, it's hard times. It's the summertime, and school bus driver doesn't get that much work. He's like, I'm all about it. He said, come in anytime when you can, come and get it as best as you can. And if you can't, is it okay if I sell it to somebody else, and I'll try to reorder it for you? Compromise. Understand that your customers aren't billionaires. They read about the billionaires like Tony Stark and Batman and whoever else, but your actual real life customers aren't billionaires. So come to understanding that when they come into the store, they can't always just come in and buy it weekly. They might have to come in every other week and buy the comic books. So I just feel as though there's a chance and opportunity to handle a certain situation that I felt as though that particular comic book store just didn't do, and the comic book store that I'm going to now does do. And but again, maybe he was going through something that day and he just flipped out the way he did. But whatever comic book store you go to, just always kind of have that in mind, that they are trying to sell a product, and if you're not buying their product, they're missing out on the chance and opportunity. Well, that kind of wraps it up. As you can see, all these nice toys up in here that just came out. You'll see me in a couple of seconds.